Ladies and gentlemen, it's a great pleasure to be speaking with all of you today. Public transit authorities globally are experiencing significant revenue shortfall due to decline ridership. As the COVID-19 situation evolves, social distancing and even stronger regulation are put in place. This naturally impacts individual freedom to travel. The situation is critical, and CUTA, as well as many other important organizations, provide just-in-time recommendations for public transport operators. Despite the magnitude of the current situation, the situation is temporary. We see countries slowly flattening the curve and people returning to the old way of living. Hence, it's essential to focus also on the future, despite the magnitude of the situation and the importance of looking into here and now. While we are addressing the current situation, it's essential not to forget that while the situation will be returning to the normal, the people will travel again, and we will need to provide them the new experience and very efficient way of transportation. If there is anything we can learn from the current situation, it would certainly be the importance of human health and sustainability. Public transport as the backbone of smart city plays a key role in fight for better environment while addressing the need for ever-increasing amount of the travelers. While this is the fact, the topic for today's presentation would be eco-friendly RFID transit ticketing, as well as how to address the inclusion for public transportation fare media. My name is Miriama, and I will be driving you through the following content today. We will be looking at the current global trends in public transportation systems and their fare media. We will be looking at the regular traveler, their needs, the pattern, and how they normally pay for their transportation, the occasional travelers, how we can make them travel easier and more convenient. We will be looking at the payment fare media and commonly used occasional travelers' way of payment, their advantages, disadvantages, and the newest trends, how to go forward, meaning ecological way of paying for the transport ticket as 100% plastic-free, eco-RFID paper ticket, mobile open-loop payments, and we will provide also comparison table where we will be measuring certain parameters which are important for the travelers while they are utilizing public transport. Well, I'm moving to the next slide. I would like to put some key facts on the table. Actually, one of the major trends in the 20th century is urbanization and globalization. These two trends means that a lot of people are moving towards the city, and they are utilizing public transport over there. This creates a big challenge for public transport operators, where they need to move ever-increasing amount of the people who need to travel either for their daily needs or even occasional travelers which are coming for business, leisure, or anything else. There are multiple medias which are currently used for payment for the public transport. However, within the time, there were things which have been taking over the majority of the transport system for their fare media. One of the trends was inclusion of the contactless card for the regular travelers. Contactless was measured to be very convenient in terms of throughput of the people, meaning it was helping the efficiency of transitioning the people from the point A to the point B, and especially in the rush hours, it was a key factor to be able to address ever-increasing amount of the travelers. We've been talking about, we have a regular travelers, occasional travelers, we have additional splits for according to the age of the travelers, or other socio-economics factors. When we are having a look on the current scope, how the transportation media are split for the regular travelers. Currently, we see that majority of transportation agencies are utilizing closed-loop payment card. Closed-loop payment contactless cards is bringing key advantages for the public transport operators, as the card with its security stands in the center. Public transport operator in this case is fully in control of the money flow, of the information about the user, and they can clearly see how the users like to travel, give them the best benefit, set up very flexible fare schemes, and the user which has a card can utilize normally multiple means of travel within the city. In addition, one of the trend is inclusion additional services or private transportation services on that card as well. So to put it into the practice, how it can work, person has a contactless payment card. This person comes to use the transport, they tap, they, without any interaction with the system, they get quickly through the gates and utilize the transport. Contactless technology is bringing a really maximum speed compared to any other means of travel. We've been seeing in the past the utilization of the cash, of the paper, of the magnetic stripe, of the QR code, the barcode, and we see the new way of travels in terms of credit card or mobile. Actually, the importance of the speed is also coming hand in hand with the need for reliability, scalability, and cost efficiency. So reliability, meaning how can we ensure that the media which are used for the travel are not copied, that they are secure enough, that they enable people always when they have valid media to get through the gates, and that in the best possible time. Efficiency, meaning in the rush hour, how quickly can we get all these crowds through the gates, not creating any blockages, enabling convenience for the users to move from the point A to the point B. And cost efficiency, it's this discussed not only about the cost of the media, but also about the cost of the entire system, meaning how expensive is it for me to acquire media, but also how expensive would it be to maintain the system, to clean the readers in case we are utilizing magnetic stripe and we need to clean the heads of the reading, or visual recognition system as QR code and barcode. You know, how sustainable it is until it requires additional maintenance. So when we are looking at this portfolio, closed loop cards became status quo in more than 70% of the cities currently worldwide for the regular travelers. They created the best benefit for all current travelers, but there are certain needs of the people who are coming beyond just getting the maximum flexibility or speed. It's the trends which are coming with the change of the demographics, meaning young people are curious and would wish to utilize their mobile. There are people who are coming to the cities who would like to utilize their credit card and do not want necessarily to purchase additional media. Instead of, they want to utilize the things which they already own. The beauty of the contactless technology is its scalability, meaning if you utilize certain contactless technology, which is operating according to some ISO standard, this contactless technology does not need to be represented only by the card, but it can be also sitting nicely on the credit card, or it can be in the mobile or on the wearable. This scalability of the contactless technology allows public transport operators to add different type of fare media into their scheme without significant need to invest into upgrade of the infrastructure. Very often, in case public transport operators stick to one technology, they are able to only utilize software update and limit the expenses to add these alternative media for payment for the fares. But what about occasional travelers, and what about inclusion? When we are talking about regular travelers who already purchased plastic card, it's great. Everybody has an opportunity to travel. If we add mobile and credit card, people who are technology savvy, they would be very happy and they will upload the transportation payment scheme on their mobile or on their credit card. They would be able to travel. But what about the users which either don't have a credit card where they would be able to use it? They are not the regular travelers, so they do not have a plastic card, and they are not technology savvy to the extent that they would like to integrate the transportation means onto their mobile. Well, there we are coming exactly to the fare media for the occasional traveler. The key fact for public transport is that it's important that it's inclusive. Everybody who wants to travel should be able to travel conveniently, and in ideal case, they would get all sufficient information which will allow them to travel conveniently. Imagine if you are a person who is coming first time to certain public transport, you land on the airport and you do not necessarily know what public transport media you have there. You do not know how to get from the airport to your hotel. You do not know whether to take the bus, train, or you need to combine all that. Contactless technology is very good in terms of throughput of the people. So even if you will have a lot of occasional travelers, business travelers, tourists, you will not be slowing down the throughput of the people who try to travel. And additionally, contactless technology is very often, according to the media which you choose, NFC enabled, meaning people would be able to tap the ticket to their mobile and they would be able to see any information you want. Imagine people are getting tourist ticket, they tap the mobile and get the information. This is the point where you are. These are all the possibilities how you can travel in our town. Please put the place where you want to get, and we calculate for you the best possibility to travel, which means you should take in order to get there, either quickest or more convenient. In addition, you can include information about additional services. So not only traditional tram and buses, but if you have car sharing or bike sharing services, you can easily integrate it over there. Meaning the revenue which you want to take from transporting the people who are just visiting the city, instead of going towards the taxi, which would be the most convenient way to get from the airport to the hotel, if the people do not know how to travel, would rather go to you. Because in many big cities, example can be Tokyo or Paris, if you take the taxi or Uber or any other alternative way of travel, means you will be much slower as if you would take the metro or train. If you would be able to provide this information to the occasional travel and they would see it easy to travel that way, they would save the money, time, and they will be extremely happy. So if there are all these advantages of contactless technology, and if there is already the system in place, because we've been telling cities have the contactless infrastructure For the regular travelers, the plastic cards are accepted. So what's the point? Why paper tickets are, RFID paper tickets are not yet integrated? We are coming to two major points, and that's environmental concern and the price of the fair media, contactless fair media, with the combination of these limited use. So RFID contactless media is approximately 10 times as expensive as just pure paper media or magnetic stripe paper ticket. Environmental concern, even though we see that the paper RFID ticket is from outside paper, it has a plastic inside. Actually, we will come to this point later, but currently all RFID tickets around the world, except few exceptions, which we will address later as well, they have a chip and antenna positioned on the PET inlay, and this is coated in paper, meaning 1/3 of the RFID ticket nowadays is still plastic. So we will be comparing later the RFID media to cash, to tokens, the magnetic stripe, to QR code tickets, and also to credit card and mobile. But let me come to address the concern of the cost. So we've been telling that contactless paper media are approximately 10 times as expensive as just paper media. Yes, that's true if we are taking into the consideration only the cost of the media itself. But if we are taking into the consideration the entire system, we will see the massive saving on the side of the maintenance and the support personnel. If you imagine the standard magnetic stripe ticket, people are coming to the reader, and you have actually 4 different ways how you can put this ticket into the infrastructure. That means that the people stay in front of the reader and try to figure out how to do it, and they have severe issues to get through this reader. Public transport operator invest into support personnel who are standing there and helping people to get through that. This is one point on the cost. Additional is maintenance of the reader. Magnetic stripe reader infrastructure requires extensive maintenance, especially the cost for this maintenance increases with the age of the infrastructure. We see similar problem of the throughput with additional technologies like the QR code or barcode, even though they are superior from the user friendliness towards the magnetic stripe, they are still significantly slower as contactless technology, as well as they are easier copyable, meaning the security aspect of the contactless ticket is also saving a significant amount of the revenue, which is coming from the fact that these tickets are not counterfeited as easy. And in case they are implemented correctly, there are also media which are not counterfeited at all. So from this perspective, when we compare the cost of the entire system of the contactless towards the alternative technologies, the contactless system is less expensive as the alternative technologies. In addition, we should not forget 2 things: information sharing. If you are having a magnetic stripe or if you are using just the cash, you will never learn anything about the passenger. You would not be able to offer him additional benefit of utilizing ticket elsewhere. You would probably stick only for the payment for the travel itself. Talking about additional possibility of adding the information to the media. RFID media is NFC enabled, meaning people can tap the ticket and get the information about how to utilize the transport. As well, you can utilize it for additional revenue streams. Imagine you can give an advertisement about the nearby refreshment centers where people after the long travel can get a coffee. The coffee shop will probably be very generous and pay certain amount of the money for this promotion. Where we see some trends going exactly this direction are a huge tourist centers. If we look at South Asia Pacific, Manila is the clear example where the advertising is paying for the tickets, or as well as Venice. Venice actually is issuing contactless ticket, and through the advertisement which they are making on the ticket are getting more revenue as they are actually paying for the ticket itself. Ticket as well can become collectible and can represent the value of your brand. If you are looking at example of London Oyster, London is very good in releasing limited edition cards, for example, with the Queen or royal family, which becomes collectible, and they can charge for this media much more as for the standard media. But if we resolve the economical issue, what about the ecological aspect? We told that majority of the RFID media currently, even if the outside body of the ticket is paper, inside is still plastic. So is it the right solution? Shall we go for the RFID paper media for the contactless ticketing? Well, the benefits are not debatable. The speed of throughput, the security, the convenience, the information, it's great. So the challenge for ticket providers, for Julia, was how to give RFID benefits, but without environmental compromises. And this is the reason why, thanks to the cooperation with multiple companies, there were few new RFID media created. One of them is, for example, wooden cards. Wooden cards are really great from the environmental perspective, as well as from the contactless performance. What's the challenge on the wooden media is that their financial aspect. The price for the wooden card is still very, very high. Meaning for the occasional travelers, unless it becomes collectible, it's with the combination of the limited use of the ticket, not really interesting solution for majority of the public transport agencies. However, it's a good alternative for the standard plastic card. So what is the alternative for the occasional traveler? How we can maintain this cost neutral aspect of contactless technology versus the traditional technologies, as well as to become green? The answer is 100% plastic-free ticket. Actually, what was developed latest is assembly of the chip with the antenna directly on the paper, meaning everything stays the same, the chip, the RFID performance, the antenna, but all this thing is positioned on the paper without need of plastic. This means versus the standard tickets, we are getting rid of all the plastic pollution which we had before. Even though we may discuss, okay, what about the recyclability of PET, right? The PET is the most recyclable plastic on this earth. The fact is only 10% of the entire PET is nowadays recycled. If you would ask why is that, recycling PET is very, very expensive and it's very complicated. Imagine if you have a ticket which contains of multiple materials. You have PET, you have paper. You would need to be able to separate all these materials and recycle it separately. And that all can happen just after you would be able to collect all the tickets, meaning you would be forced to get all the tickets from the travelers back and then put it somewhere to the recycling center and then get all the separate materials recycled. This is unfortunately as expensive as it's not happening, meaning 100% paper ticket would be the right solution, as you do not have do not need a separate recycling patterns for that. People can freely throw the ticket into the paper waste bin, and it can be recycled within the paper mills. If you are talking about the performance of paper 100% plastic-free RFID paper tickets, Julia Eco, as the leading brand for 100% plastic-free eco tickets, was certified by the independent testing centers, and it confirmed the same performance on the mechanical side as well as on the electrical side versus the well-known RFID paper tickets of today. On this slide, you would see the table with comparison of multiple technologies from the aspects of how it is for the user to use it, how expensive it is for the public transport operators to release this media and maintain the system, as well as what are the overall benefits in terms of speed, reliability, protection of the data, and as well. So when we are looking one by one, cash systems are known to be very expensive. Not very expensive initially because you do not need any infrastructure for that, but very expensive due to the cash handling. First of all, every single individual driver would need to receive the cash. This cash would need to be collected on a regular basis on some collecting points. From these collecting points, it would need to be get to the bank, and there it would need to be processed, and the money would need to be distributed to all the providers of the transportation means. This is known to be very critical from the fraud perspective, as there is hardly control of how every individual person handles the money which he receives. The second thing is tokens. Tokens are very similar to cash. The challenge with the tokens is its collection, cleaning, and redistribution. The management of the tokens is extremely expensive. On top, if you are utilizing the tokens, you need to already have an infrastructure. So it's more expensive from the system as a cash, and you still keep the need for handling the token management and its redistribution and collection. Then we are coming to QR code and barcode paper tickets. The great thing on QR code and barcode is its scalability. You can have a QR code on paper ticket, you can have it on the plastic card. For the regular traveler, you can put it into the mobile and your infrastructure would work. This is great. The problem with the QR code is low security. It's very easy to copy QR code, especially if we are talking about printed QR code. These are static data. If somebody takes the picture, travels as a first one, you would not be able to avoid that this person travels. You can theoretically, by the system, limit the second one, but you endanger the fact that maybe you limit the one which actually purchased the ticket. Going further to magnetic stripe. Magnetic stripe was a status quo for the ticketing for multiple decades. It provided strong security. It enabled a reuse of the ticket as you can write into the magnetic stripe once you are reading it at the terminal. However, the maintenance of the system was extremely costly, and the reliability of the readers was extremely difficult. In combination with impossibility to integrate the new means of payment for the media You can't put the magnetic stripe into the mobile, wearable, or anything else. This technology was lacking behind QR code and barcode and being far behind contactless technology. If you are looking at the contactless technology, it was very superior in terms of speed and easiness to use. However, the cost for the media itself was quite expensive. We've been addressing this before. The maintenance of the system is less expensive as in all other technologies. What overall management of the transportation system puts on the same cost as if you are utilizing traditional technologies. On top, you can cooperate with the third parties and acquire additional revenue stream or add benefits to the user, where this user is getting more information and they are happy to travel. You avoid their frustration by not having proper information when they want to utilize the transport system. Coming from the contactless technology to how we can utilize this contactless technology. Yes, it can be on the plastic card, it can be on the paper ticket, it can be on the closed loop card. If you integrate the contactless card, credit card usage in your infrastructure, you have two means of doing it. You can either just do the standard payment operation on the gate, which is becoming extremely expensive, not because of media inquiry. Of course, every person utilizes own media. They bring it with them. However, the infrastructure needs to be certified. It's called PCI compliance. And this PCI compliance is normally refreshed by every 18 months, meaning it's extremely cost intense once you are enabling the direct payment on the terminal. Additionally, you may lose information about the users because these users are using just the payment. They just pay for this one specific ride. You don't send additional information and benefits to the user. And what potentially can happen is that if credit card does not work, people who are having this credit card will come to the support personnel and they will ask, okay, how can we now, let's say, get out from the public transport? These people would not be able to really help directly. They would need to refer these people to the issuer of the credit card because the payment for the transport is different as on the standard closed loop card which they've been utilizing. Additionally, what can be potentially impacted is also the fare system. If it's just single payment, not knowing who is using it, even if this person would be traveling 3-4 times a day and you would like to charge him just daily charge instead of 4 times single ride, you would potentially not be able to have all the information. But there is a way. There is a way if you utilize the technology which is sitting on the credit card, which is the same technology as you've been unrolling as your closed loop micropayment card. This technology is already available on majority of the credit card, however, not on each and every credit card. That creates the challenge that not all the people would be able to utilize the credit card, and it would be hard to communicate who can do that and who cannot. The last option is mobile. Mobile is a great way of travel. It creates a lot of convenience, but not all the people are technology savvy enough to enjoy this way of travel. Meaning it's a great alternative, but it's not covering everybody who wants to travel. Also, if we are talking about digitalization, if mobile ticket can do only the same as the standard ticket, where is the advantage? Integration of the mobile is normally successful only if the mobile ticket offers additional benefits which are currently not available on the standard payment media. For example, getting direct alerts. So person is playing on its mobile and mobile would tell him, this is the stop which you normally go out. Are you sure you did not forget to leave the bus? Are you sure you want to travel back? If these services are enabled, of course the user would see a lot of benefit of utilizing a mobile, and you will see the transition from the standard media to usage of the mobile. So talking about all that, coming back to the paper tickets. RFID paper tickets are a great alternative. It allows you inclusion because everybody can actually get it. You can easily throw it away into the waste bin. And cost-wise, it does not create you additional impact on your current infrastructure. What is also important to mention is that the system upgrade, if you want to integrate green ticketing, is not required in case you stick to the same technology. You can use the same technology as you use for the plastic card also in your paper ticket. It's rather simple. The only thing what's changing is the surrounding material of the media itself. If you are telling, okay, interesting, we would be interested to do that, but we are afraid to integrate new technology. What about the experience of this technology? Well, you would not be the first one. I told the majority of the systems still utilize the standard RFID tickets, but as the technology was released a few months ago, there are already systems which rolled it out. One of them is, for example, VENICE. VENICE is having two challenges. One is it's heavily touristic, meaning majority of the people who are coming are occasional travelers. Second one, it's very much focused on enjoying the free time over there. There are a lot of aspects what the city itself want to communicate to the people who are coming, where the paper ticket gives you sufficient space from the visual perspective because you do not need to use QR code, barcodes, or anything else, so you have the full space. And additionally, if it's 100% plastic free, it also allows to avoid the plastic waste, which is currently accumulating on the on the borders where the sea is heating the ground. Right, so VENICE was one of the first systems which was introducing 100% plastic-free ticketing, and they've been great in managing the advertisement on it. They've been changing the visuals on pretty regular basis, and they've been earning from the visuals more as they've been paying for the RFID tickets itself. They've been cooperating with the local casino, with the major brands like Lavazza, with the shopping malls, with the most famous brands, which are very famous in Italy, with the outlets, but also with the local municipality, which wanted to communicate certain important public events. So, saying that, I would like to tell also a few words about Julia. Julia, as the company with 50 years of experience in printing, is very experienced with the RFID transition. We've been taking a lot of our clients from standard technologies like pure paper, magnetic stripe, QR code, barcode to utilization of RFID. And for us, it was always important that our clients have the integration as easy as possible. That's also the reason why it's our pleasure to cooperate with RFID Canada, which is a distributor of our products in Canada, which is the reliable partner of any company which will ever integrate Julia products in Canada or North America. They are having people who are very experienced in consulting public transport agencies as well as any other service providers for implementing RFID technology. Contacts on RFID Canada will be provided to you. They are in the slides, and they are here to support you in case you will be interested about integrating smart paper ticketing into your systems. By that, I would like to thank you for your attention